Okay, so now we are on Facebook. Yes. All right. Yes, Ariana, so you can start. Ariana, please unmute. Yes.
Good evening, Bhante and all Kalyanamitas. Namo Buddhaya and Sukhi Hontu. I'm Aliana and welcome to TRV Friday Sutta discussion by Bhante Dr. Ganggodawila Chandima. This is the day 120 of Sutta discussion class. Tonight's class is the 8th class of Girimānanda Sutta with topic the perception of cessation of or nirodha. Girimānanda Sutta is the 11th sutta that have been chosen by Bhante Chandima for the sutta discussion. In previous classes, Bhante has discussed about Mangala Sutta, Ratana Sutta, Metta Sutta, Sigalowada Sutta, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, Sabbasawa Sutta, Patakama Sutta, Patama Samajivi Sutta, Alawaka Sutta, and Dajaga Sutta, which Bhante has elaborated those sutta in depth. For those who have missed our previous classes, please check on Ti-Ratana Aman Perdana Klang Facebook page and YouTube channel. We have uploaded the previous classes there. We are always welcoming newcomers, therefore whoever that wish to join the class via Zoom, where we can engage directly with Bhante, can contact the Vihara through PRV Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp. Our speaker, Bhante Dr. Ganggodawila Chandima, is the Associate Editor of Journal of International Buddhist Studies, or JIBS, which is published by the Buddhist Research Institute of Mahachulalongkorn Raja Vidyalaya University in Thailand. He was previously a research fellow at the Center for Studies in Religion and Society, or CSRS, at University of Victoria, Canada. Bhante Dr. Chandima was also Theravada Buddhist chaplain at the Buddhist University at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, Canada, from year 2012 to 2016. Bhante is currently the senior advisor to Patisota, a virtual Dhamma organization that hosts a weekly online Pali reading class, Sutta discussion, Dhamma talks, and a variety of other Dhamma activities. His Dhamma works can be accessed at www.patisota.blogspot.com, and we also can follow Bhante at Patisota Facebook account. Without further ado, we welcome once again Bhante, and as always, thank you very much for the wonderful guidance and teaching. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Aliana, once again for the introduction. And we will going to starting with discussion by paying respect to Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So, welcome to Sutta discussion day 120. And today we have Liana Lim, Kelvin, Margaret, Sadiris, Kim, Nai Chen, TC Lim, Katie, Cindy, Lee, Ho, Samita, Kim Neo, Yuon, Hema, Wu, Piang, Ho, Corina, Melinda. And today we are going to discuss another perception, sanya, and how that sanya can help someone heal in his or her journey of pain. This is our purpose. So before we get to that, we will again take a look at the previous sanyas which we have been doing so far. You can see we have been doing okay, anicca sanya number 1, anatta sanya number 2, not self, and then asubha sanya number 3, and then adinava sanya number 4, and then giving up pahana sanya number 6, number 5, and then fading away viraga sanya number 6, and this is going to be cessation nirodha sanya number 7. So, cessation. First of all, let's read this part over here. Who would like to read this part? We're going to be starting from here. Yeah, this part. You can raise your virtual hand. Yes, please go ahead.
Katma cha ananda, nirodha sanya, idananda, bhikkhu aranya agatto, wa rukka mula gatto, wa sunyagara gatto, wa iti pati sanchikhati, itam santam itam panitam, yadidam sabba sankhara samato, sabbupadi patini sakko, tanhakhayo nirodho nibbananti.
Hey, great. Katama chanand nirodha sanya. Idhanand bhikkhu aranya gatuva. Rukha mula gatuva. Sunyagara gatuva. Iti patisanchekkate. Etang samtang. Etang panita. Yadidang sabba sankhara samato. Sabbu padi pati nissanku. Tanhakhayo nirodho nibbana. This is exactly the same phrasing. If you go back to the previous one, you can see here. If you take out Viraga Sanya, it's same. Idananda Bhikkhu, Patisanchekkati, the same thing over here. And then you can see that the last, it's also the same thing. Etang Santang, Etang Panitang. It's exactly similar. So that means the both sections talk about one thing in two ways. This is none other than the Nibbana. You can see it here. It's the Nibbana. So Nibbana has been understood in Viraga Sanya and then Nirodha Sanya. As a Viraga Sanya, as a Nirodha Sanya. Right? Now let me ask you a very simple question before we get to this point. When you practice Anapanasati meditation, what is it? Breath meditation. You time to time look at the formal instructions. So there are different instructions given by different speakers and then teachers. We understand that Satipatthana Sutta gives out a formal instruction. How does Satipatthana Sutta give the Anapanasati meditation? How does it give? Let's go and take a look at Satipatthana Sutta. Let's take the Majjhima Nikaya's Satipatthana Sutta. See. Here. Satipatthana Sutta, Majjhima Nikaya 30. Okay, you can see here. This is how the Satipatthana Sutta explains how to practice breath meditation. It is when a monk or nun or anybody go to a wilderness, that means forest, at the foot of tree, and then what do you mean? Sunyagara. These translation words have issues. Just omit that part, but we understand the nature. Sits down, cross-legged, sets their body straight, establishes mindfulness in their presence. Just mindful, they breathe in and then breathe out. So breathe in and breathe out. Interesting. Breathe in, breathe out. Now the thing is that now there is a certain misunderstanding over here. Just mindful, they breathe in and breathe out. Now, when we understand this translation, it has a certain idea that someone can control some breath. I can breathe in mindfully, I can breathe out mindfully. Not that I watch how my breaths arise and how I watch how my breaths, go away, maybe, go out. So that means that is the mindful activity with regard to breathing. But here, the way how it, was translated. But anyways, breathing in, breathe out part, you are going to watch. And then what happens? Number one, number two, breathing heavily, breathing out heavily. Now, someone who does not understand this part, as you can see here, they think at this point I have to breathe in heavily and I have to breathe out heavily. One day when I was in a meditation, I was conducting a meditation, somebody was breathing in heavily and breathing out heavily. At the end of the meditation, I asked, what's going on? No, I'm a little confused, so just forgive me. Just forgive me. I said, you don't have to take a heavy breath. What? Now, the instructions have been given in a way that you need to watch whether your breaths are going to be heavy or not, right? Maybe deep or not. So here, what does someone do is that person mindfully watch at the beginning, and time to time he or she understands breaths can go heavily, or breaths can go out heavily. This part, and then thirdly, you can see here. I'll breathe in, experiencing the whole body. I'll breathe out, experiencing the whole body. Not I will breathe in, breathe out. Now, when I watch how my breaths happening with regard to arising, staying, and going out, I can feel my whole body, a certain place that one attempts to understand the whole body. Because when we are having breaths, we don't normally look at the overall experience of the body. We just do it. It happens. At this point, you are going to see the full experience of the whole body. That is the third part. Then fourth, I'll breathe in, still in the physical process. This is more likely to kaya sankara, passam bhayan kaya sankara. Kaya sankara. I'll breathe out, still in the physical process. Translation problems again. That means now, whenever, or as long as that particular meditator understands full experience of the watching the breaths in and out, that person can also find out whether my breaths are heavy or not, continue to become heavy or not. At that point, the person wants to refine his or her breaths. What do you mean by refining the breaths? What is happening when you practice breathing meditation the proper way for some time? Let me ask you, what will be happening one day? Number one is it will become a habitual practice. It will become a habit. Number two, your breaths will become very refined. Refined means, what is the nature of our normal raw breath? What is the variation of our normal breath? It is not very refined.
Heavy.
Huh?
Heavy.
It's heavy. Yeah, it's not refined. It's like a 250 voltage. Right? 250 voltage. You touch it, you will die, electrocuted. But what if there is somebody who is going to refine the power into 110 voltage, and doesn't mean go and touch it. You won't die. Then the electricity is refined, and then that is even good for the appliances, right? Now, when you are using a voltage 250 for your appliances, that has a certain challenge, because the appliances are actually going through that kind of high voltage. But what if it is refined to 110? Then the appliances are having a very safe amount, or there's no surge, minimum surge. In the same way, when the breaths are refined, how to refine breaths? When you are mindfully watching your breaths, then the reactions that breaths can do to certain emotions will be very minimized. So that is what is meant by here. You are going to still your kaya sankara. That day we discussed that. Kaya sankara means bodily formations. That means asasa passas. Right? Now think about someone who has hypertension. What is the norm over there? What is the norm of somebody's hypertension, high blood pressure? Huh? What could be the nature of someone who has high blood pressure? Definitely, this is attached to the breath in a way, right? Breathing process. Yes, Kim, you have something to say?
The high blood people, they get agitated very fast.
Get agitated. Now this is connected to the salt intake on one side. On the other hand, all these emotions are also attached to this process. So that means if you have a practice of breath by watching the breath, that can minimize you into unnecessary health issues. So here, as you can see in Satipatthana Sutta, it is said you are going to still that, you are going to calm the bodily formation, which means breathing in and breathing out. Okay, now what is happening? This is the only instruction. It's a 4 level of instructions which the Satipatthana Suttas talk about with regard to breath meditation. What else? Then the Buddha talks about a simile. We don't have to discuss about it. And then he talks about, and so meditators meditate observing this aspect of breathing. That means long breath, experiencing, short breath, experiencing, and then stilling the sankhara. Then you are practicing it internally, externally, both internally and externally, and like that. Now the issue here is that where is the formal breath meditation practice which was given by the Buddha? Is it the Satipatthana Sutta or is it somewhere else? There's another sutta for that. That is where Buddha talks about that this anapanasati meditation, breath meditation, can take you to Nibbana. That is called Anapanasati Sutta. What is it called? Anapanasati Sutta. That means Majjhima Nikayas. I'm going to find out the number. It's going to be Majjhima Nikayas 118. Okay. In this sutta, the Buddha talks about that not even you are watching the heavy breaths, short breaths, or you see the experience of the whole breath, or you're going to see the stillness of your breath, but also you are going to look at another many stages beyond that. So it has almost 16 stages. At the end of those stages, mostly the last 4, Buddha says, whenever your thoughts are very still through the breath meditation, you are going to contemplate one of the 4 things. One of the 4 things. What are they? Number 1 is anicca. You can take a personal experience about changes in your life. A good change or a bad change. Or you can take a contemplation on viraga, like the exact topic that we discussed last Friday. Viraga means dispassion, or I would say a better name could be fading away of your akusalas. And also, Buddha said, you can also take patinissagga. The same Pali word is again repeated over here. Patinissagga means letting go, a personal moment of letting go in your life as an object. Now you are practicing breath meditation at in the last couple of stages. You can take one of the personal experience about those things. Also, finally, Buddha says, you can also consider taking a moment of time where you had a personal experience about cessation, nirodha. That is the topic that we are discussing today, nirodha. You can see over here. Let me go back to the text. You can see over here, it's nirodha. Nirodha. Now let me ask you, how to understand this Pali word, nirodha? How can we break out nirodha, this Pali word? What does rodha mean? Rodha. Rodha means rodha means stop. You can also say resistance. Resistance. What does resistance mean? Is the topic of resistance very important in our life? Do we have problems with the resistance in our life? Are you someone who is sometimes resistant to others, or are you very submissive to others and things? Resistance is a very interesting topic in today's world. Sometimes people are asking you, hey, don't resist, huh? Don't resist. You've got to be submissive. But this Pali word, rodha, means stopping or resistance. But nirodha, ni means you are going to stop it in the proper way. Maybe a full stop it, a complete stop. What is to be stopped? What is to be fully stopped over here? Can you think of what is to be stopped? It's a very simple thing. I think you know it. You know it. Where does this Pali word come from? What are the other areas of this Pali word? Nirodha. Where do you find this Pali word with other concepts? This is a certain action. So this action is related to a very interesting topic in Buddhism. I would say very fundamental.
Dependent origination. Dependent on origination. Bhante.
Yeah, dependent origination has nirodha, definitely. But even dependent origination means the process which has been happening to all of us, sentient beings. Right? So we have to understand that. But going beyond the dependent origination, patissamuppada, there's something more important than this process. I mean, this process is something that we have to apply to everything. But we have to understand this nirodha from a very interesting perspective.
The Four Noble Truths.
Four Noble Truths. That is where this nirodha is primarily applicable. What are the Four Noble Truths? Can someone tell me in Pali language? Then we understand it. The first Noble Truth is what? Dukkha.
Dukkha.
Dukkha Arya Satya.
Satya.
Dukkha Arya Satya is the first Noble Truth. Arya means noble. Satya means
True.
So the Noble Truth on Dukkha. Sometimes don't translate. When we cannot translate some Pali words, what are we going to do? We leave it as it is. Right? When you don't know how to translate properly, we leave it as it is. Give me one very good example. Give me a very good example of a problem that where we could not translate a Pali word and we kept it as it is.
Bhavana.
Huh?
Meditation.
Bodhi. Can we translate the Pali word Bodhi? B-O-D-H-I, the Bodhi tree. Give it a name. Enlightenment tree, yeah? Will people accept that? Enlightenment tree. Better, let's keep it as it is. Bodhi tree is Bodhi tree. Can we translate the Pali word Buddha? We do something, but it's not going to work. So what we do? We keep it as it is. Without messing up with the wrong translation. I always say when some people translate poorly, it gives us different meanings like Kokutarama, chicken feet monastery. These kinds of translations give us very different translations. And some people translated Kukutaram to be chicken feet monastery. Some translated this to be chicken monastery. Some even translated this to be cock's monastery. What's wrong with these people? I mean, whether you understand or not. The problem is like, if we don't know how to translate, let's leave it as it is. So in the same way, let's keep dukkha as it is. If we want to translate, we will think about good translation, dissatisfaction, unsatisfactoriness, something like that. Not like bringing suffering. Then suffering is one level of that dukkha. Just because it's one part of the dukkha, we cannot fully translate dukkha to be suffering. This is one very big issue which turned off many people who came to Buddhism in the first place. You see, almost all other religions don't talk about suffering that much. They all talk about happiness. Right? And when we introduce Buddhism to somebody with this wrong translation, and they are already turned off, I think the people, it is better that they better not introducing Buddhism to those people. So the first noble truth is dukkha ariya satya. That means the noble truth. Ariya means noble, satya means truth on dukkha. Number two, dukkha samudaya ariya satya. There's another Pali word came in now. Samudaya. Samudaya means?
Origin.
What does samudaya means?
Cause.
Samudaya means? Samudaya means?
Cause. Is it cause?
Cause.
Cause. Cause of suffering.
Cause of dukkha. The noble truth on the cause of dukkha. Samudaya. Samudaya also has arising.
Origin.
So,
Bhante?
cause.
Origin.
Yes. Yeah, origin. Or you can say the cause. Because normally, because we apply this noble truth teaching into the Paticamuppada, so you can say cause as well. And then third noble truth is
Nirodha.
nirodha ariya satya. The noble truth on the
Cessation.
nirodha of the dukkha. Let's put it that way. Nirodha of the dukkha. That means dukkha has to be nirodha. Nirodha means?
And
we can do different things to dukkha, right? We can hide our dukkha. Do we hide our own dukkha sometimes? People are asking, how are you doing? You just pretend, I'm good, no problem. But you are not good. Do we hide our state of mind sometimes? Why are we doing that? The safest answer is we have lots of metta for other people. We don't want them to be unhappy because of us. Right? The safest answer. Why are people hiding their true state of mind? There are different reasons. But people respond to dukkha differently. And people do things to dukkha differently. So, the ultimatum of the dukkha that somebody can do from Buddhism is to cease it. Other than ceasing, what other things can they do? They can hide it. They can hide their dukkha. Or they can pretend it. Or what else can they do?
when they reduce it,
Now you can take it as pain, problems in your life, whatever we call dukkha to be like this, unhappiness. So what do you do when are you always? I don't think you are always like expressive about what's going on in your life to somebody. So what else you are doing? Hiding, pretending, or maybe accepting sometimes, right? Accepting your own dukkha. Then what else? What else can you do? You know what you are doing, right?
Try
solve
to
it, Bhante.
reduce.
Try to solve it, some problem.
Us try to solve the dukkha. So you mean coming up with some solutions, short-term, long-term solutions to now dukkha here means some problems, yeah. Okay, that's good. And then what else are we doing for our dukkha? I mean, sometimes dukkha is going to arise. Sometimes dukkha has not arisen, but we think we can do things to ease it out. What else can you do?
Try to find the source, the root cause of the dukkha.
Source. Trying to find the source. We've been finding the source for many lives, huh? Still we cannot find out the source of our own dukkha. It's a long-term journey. It's a sansaric journey. And then what else? Have you ever seen that there are people who are going through dukkha happily? What is this idea of like going through dukkha happily? But for other people, oh, you are going through some pain. But for them, no, you're happy. That means when you are getting used to dukkha, you might not call it at a certain point that it's dukkha anymore. Right? Is there a notion called getting used to dukkha? Some people really hate dukkha, but some can get used to it, and then they might not call it dukkha anymore. Right?
You have the idea, Bhante, that it shall pass. It shall pass.
Yeah, some people do it by thinking this shall pass. But there are people who even don't have that kind of idea. They just get used to it already. It's like, say, for instance, discomfort, pain. I think you may have heard from those people. How are you living with these kind of people? No, I'm used to it. I don't look at it that way. Right? So that means there are certain types of pains which some people have been getting used to it in a way. So this is something else that some others can do. Some others do actually. And what else? What else have many people been doing in terms of the dukkha's activity? How are they responding to dukkha?
Sometimes they deny seeing the truth of the pain.
They deny.
Denial.
Yeah, denial.
Or running away, like just don't want to see.
Running away is a common thing. So they deny. Avoiding. Can you give us an example how they deny?
Or some of them, I think I see they have high blood pressure and they deny it. They say, oh no, it's normal. I think quite a number. I mean, the pressure is 160 or 180. Oh, it's okay. I'm under too excited. Isn't it a denial?
It's a denial. At the same time, probably they are carried away by certain other things, not to accept them. Why? That's why they might be denying. Probably somebody who is denying one's own health status just because he or she wants to eat the food that he or she wants to. Salty food, maybe chips, crackers, or those. I mean, people who are very much addicted to these things. Also, there are people who are, especially you see people who have diabetes sometimes. Because everybody says, hey, don't eat sugar, don't eat sugar. So when everybody says don't eat sugar, this person wants to eat more sugar sometimes. They secretly go and find a lot of sugary stuff and eat, because everybody is telling me the same story. Don't advise me, don't teach, don't, what do you call? Don't lecture me not to eat sugar, right? So sometimes people are very overwhelmed and then maybe too much advice. So then they will deny, but within that activity they will do. And some people numb the pain. They numb the pain, numb the dukkha. How to numb the pain? What are they? They are doing different things. One thing is there are people when they are having some issues, they think they can drink alcohol.
Alcoholic.
Too much alcohol, and then they don't have the right mind. So then it's happy for them. But the problem is they are going to be sober within a couple of hours. The problem is still there, right? This is one thing people do. And then take drugs, recreational drugs, substance and all that. I mean, I'm talking the Western part of the world, most people. And then what else? They might take painkillers, right? There's a certain sickness, but the person doesn't think I should go see a doctor and then take a proper medication. No, painkiller is enough for me. And then finally, the person will end up with some other medical issues. That means whenever you are sick, you should also have a mind to go see a proper doctor, right? What if some people are somebody who is not going to have that right mindset? So it looks like people do a lot of things to cover their pain. So now here, when it comes to the third noble truth, the Buddha clearly says, regardless of what people do in terms of their pain, their whatever frustration experience, they should know that there is a formal, complete end of dukkha in Buddhism. This can vary. Other things can vary. That is called nirodha. Dukkha has to be nirodha. Dukkha has to be ceased. Right? Dukkha has to be ceased. Have you seen people who are ceasing stuff in the secular world? Who are they called? Ceasers. Who are they? In some countries, there are people called ceasers. Ceasers. And then ceasers means kind of people who are trying to take what you call automobiles and things people have been paying monthly basis, but when they cannot pay, ceasers come and take it again, take the car back, right? So they've been sent by the what do you call the banks and then mortgage companies and all that, ceasers. But that is not the ceasing that we are talking. Here, ceasing means, probably there could be a better English term, but anyways, this is what we know. Dukkha has to be ceased. If dukkha has to be ceased, that is a noble truth. Cessation of dukkha, the noble truth on the cessation of dukkha. What to be ceased? What to be ceased? Here, tanha, craving has to be ceased. So that means most of the problems, almost all the problems in our life arise from different aspects of or different angles of craving in our life. What does it mean? Does it mean that someone should not like some food? Someone should not love their loved ones? Someone should not be ambitious? No, it's not the point. Lay people have to enjoy their life with their healthy boundaries. They know their own boundaries. We cannot set up their own boundaries. So while enjoying their healthy boundaries, they must know they should not be infatuated, obsessed with any of those sensual pleasures. That is what we call the place. When they don't do that, they are entering into a red zone. That red zone is tanha. So this tanha has to be understood. Don't talk about the cessation at this point. That is a higher level. Do you think that the people understand their own craving? Let's talk about that. Don't talk about cessation. in our normal life, the people who are so much into different unnecessary levels of their sensual pleasures, do they even understand that this is a craving? Or they are taken aback, they just say, no, it's normal, it's something general. The problem is we have to identify our own craving. Whether you do the necessary or not, number one is understanding our different craving. Craving of person A could be different from person B. So what is the craving here? Tanha. What is tanha? Let's discuss that. How to understand tanha?
3 types of tanha, Bhante. There are 3 types of tanha.
There are 3 types of tanha. What are they?
Kama tanha, bhava tanha, and vibhava tanha.
Vibhava tanha. Okay, this is the highest level of tanha. We are not talking this at this point because this is the way how the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta describes tanha. But when we go to the Paticsamuppada, deep imagination, according to the Vibhanga Sutta in the Samyutta Nikaya, Buddha says something else. When he discusses about tanha, he said, tanha primarily arises with regard to 6 objects. Then you will take it to kama tanha, bhava tanha. So now the problem here is that how to understand our own tanha. We can only understand our own tanha, our craving, with regard to how we process the objects that are coming to our senses. Then there are 6 types of tanha. Number 1, I don't know, maybe many of you can understand what I'm talking at this point. A little bit, some teaching. So the Buddha talks about 2 contexts of tanha. That is better to see. Okay. The first context is 3 types of tanha, or craving, given in the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. What are they? Kama, bhava, and vibhava. I'm writing, so okay. The first context. Second context, 6 types of tanha. Six types of tanha given in the Vibhanga Sutta, Samyutta Nikaya, with regard to the Paticcasamuppada, I would say, dependent origination. What are those 6? These are the ones I'm talking now. Say Rupa tanha, Sabda tanha, Gandha tanha, then Rasa tanha, Pottabha tanha, and Dhamma tanha. Okay, it's clear now. I have 2 contexts of tanha. So now now I'm telling you that this craving can be primarily noticed by us in this second context, because the first context is very high ending. So, but this primary level will connect to Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta's tanha later on. How to understand our own craving? Number 1 is, do I process my sights that I'm seeing with tanha? Now, say for instance, you are seeing somebody, you are seeing an object. How are we normally processing that particular object? Are we processing it with tanha, or we just process it as it is. We normally process it with certain other states of mind. Now, how do we normally do that? Now you are seeing something. You are watching a movie, your favorite movie. Let's say you are watching your favorite movie. Will you have rupa, or will you have a rupa tanha when you watch it? You call it blockbuster. Okay, this new release, Netflix, and then you are watching it and see, is it going to be a rupa or rupa tanha? It depends. Different people, they have favoritism on different things. So you might end up with rupa tanha, not just as a rupa. Sabda tanha, you hear a lot of sounds in the world, but when you hear the sound of someone who you really like, will you process it as a normal sound or as a sabda tanha? Sabda tanha means craving with regard to your sounds. So that means we have to lower it. How to lower it? When we understand that we are developing certain obsessive, I would say, infatuated, obsessive thoughts about that particular sound, particular rupa, then that will create a tanha. What about the smell? Gandha tanha. Are you someone who is particular about the different fragrance stuff, perfume, fragrance? Are you very particular on brands? Does it mean if you have a good brand that you have this Gandha tanha? Let's say you go to the shop, you say, now the stock is out, and then you cannot buy it. And you try from the airport. Airport has a pretty outdated inventory, the perfumes, and you go back to the shops and you don't find it. And then the people are suggesting, would you like to go for a different brand? No. I want that brand only, that particular brand. Then what's going to happen? Do you have the Gandha tanha or do you have the Gandha? Think about it. It's okay. I mean, if you understand that this particular brand is good, having a good quality in terms of the delivery and everything, that's good. But what if you cannot find it? Are you going to frustrate about it? Can you go for a different brand or a generic product? Can you have that ability? If you don't have, you have Gandha tanha. What about rasa tanha? Craving with regard to the taste. I think a lot of people get stuck in this, They have already made a lot of sannyas about it and tanha about it. Why? The taste has been the biggest type of tanha. How to understand that we have a craving with regard to our taste? The moment that we are becoming very unhappy about food, right? If you don't have that much of tanha, then you are able to eat without complaining that much. Probably if you don't get the chance to go to that particular shop or restaurant, but you are still fine, right? And on the other hand, you are not carried away by a certain food. You are not addicted to anything that many people are addicted to. What are the food that many people are very much addicted to every day, that they would like to eat all the time, maybe every part of the day? What are they? That's a very interesting thing to understand about rasa tanha. Sweets, right? Savories, snacks, and then what else? Water? No, not water.
Ice cream, Bhante, ice cream.
People hate drinking water. Yes, ice cream, yeah.
Ice cream, chocolates.
Chocolates. You can eat a chocolate, but don't become chocoholic. Yeah? Become a chocoholic, then all the problems start and you become the part of the craving. And then what else? Actually, the moment someone understands, I have a fascination, I have too much obsession about the chocolates or maybe in other sweets. That is the starting point where you are working on your dukkha. It does not mean you cannot eat chocolate, you cannot have an ice cream. Yes, please. But you know how to eat it. What is the interval that I am supposed to eat this particular food? I'm making myself healthy. On the other hand, I'm okay even without that. I can even sustain myself, survive myself without that too. What if somebody who thinks that after every meal I should have an ice cream, one scoop of ice cream? What is that idea called? Is there an obsession or is it a normal thing? So that person has to think about, review his or her food habits. What about somebody who has a thinking that I have to have this particular food every day, right? So what if that food cannot be found out on that particular day, that time? Are you going to blame the person who is cooking that? Are you going to blame the people who are making it in the house or in the restaurant? So that means you can understand the craving levels of your food experience, your taste. That means how to understand it. If you are someone who can tolerate whatever the food that's going to happen at that point, healthy ones. At the same time, you can live without those obsessions. That means you have less rasatana. The fifth one, pottabbatana. Pottabba means touch. Does touch involve some craving? How do you understand that? Touch. What is the craving with regard to touch? How do we understand that? How are people creating tanha, craving with regard to the touch? Touch means it could be probably the touch from somebody, touch from a comfortable chair, cushion, sofa, maybe the pillow, maybe a bedding. It can be anything. Touch is happening everywhere. So how does someone become, into craving with regard to touch? What about somebody who is bringing his or her own pillow into somewhere, wherever he or she goes? Because he or she might say, I cannot sleep anywhere. I want to bring my house pillow, wherever, even to a hotel. Because that is my pillow. It's a magic pillow. When I put my head on that, I sleep nicely. Actually, you can sleep. That person can sleep in the hotel pillow too. But he or she has made a certain thought. I cannot sleep without my house pillow. So this is something very unnecessary. So you have to carry that pillow everywhere you go. And then, what else? The touch.
Blanket, Bhante. Some people bring their blanket.
Yeah. Blanket, yes. Blanket must be a very heavy thing, right? Are people carrying as such? Should be. And what else? When you are having a craving towards the touch, you are carrying a weight. You cannot even travel easily, right? Now, yeah, people are talking travel effortlessly. Interesting. This effortless word comes. Travel effortlessly. It's like practice Dhamma effortlessly. Don't try to practice Dhamma with too much effort. Practice it effortlessly. Then you are practicing very well with a balance. But what are the other ways where people are into touch as a part of tanha, craving? Now we talk about the pillow, then the blanket. What else?
How about addiction to sex? Is it
Addiction.
bodily? One?
Addiction to
touch. Sex.
Yes, yeah. Yes,
That's
addiction.
body, right?
Yeah. It's a touch too because, yeah.
Physical touch.
So, not even that. You can see that everything has been becoming hypersexual. People are giving values to everything based from this hypersexuality. That means the Buddha talks about kamesu sammachara, not michachara. Michachara is the problem. Sexual misconduct is the problem. But the opposite is not the problem for the lay people. For the lay people. What is that? Michachara, misconduct. Then what is the good conduct? Sammachara. Micha samma. Samma sankappa, micha sankappa. Samma ditti, micha ditti. But the problem is, what if someone becoming very obsessed, very addicted to that particular thing? Then that person is having a lot of issues. Not even that. Wherever she goes, he or she is trying to fantasize everything from that point of view. So this person will have a lot of problems. That is why the Buddha told this kind of people, you have to practice 32 body parts meditation. Because you cannot control yourself, you cannot manage yourself. Wherever you go, you are coming up with lots of unnecessary thoughts. Right? So those people who are going to see the dead bodies, we have to say you are somebody who cannot manage your sexual so, hypersexual thinking. Right? Because the Buddha said this to those people. And then what else? Touch with regard to sexuality.
How
Touch
about
with regard
animals?
to pillow, blanket. Yes?
How about animals? Now they are now I see a lot of them very attached to the animals.
Yes. Yeah. Pets.
Yeah,
Pets.
yeah, pets.
Pets. Yeah,
A lot of them.
definitely. Definitely. Nowadays, it has become a certain style of many people. They are always appreciating about animals. Yes, we do appreciate. Why? What is more difficult? Is it dealing with humans or is it dealing with animals? What is more challenging? Challenging thing is dealing with humans.
They don't understand.
But dealing with the animals is very easy. You give some food, it's good, and then they are just showing their submissiveness to you. But the Buddha said you should be more with humans. Why? What if when you die, during the time of your death, you are thinking about your dog, your cat? Then you are thinking about a dog and you die. Your mind is about a dog, whoever the dog next to you, good dog, bad dog, your pet dog, whoever. But it's a dog. Let me add you, this is not something to disrespect anybody who have animals. We have to take care of them. If you cannot take care, we might donate some money for sanctuaries. But when it comes to the Dhamma journey, Buddha always, actually there was a point where somebody asked from the Buddha, Bhante, how can someone become a human again? A very good question, right? Because everybody is talking, even in some Dhamma activities, you may be reborn as a cat or a snake. So people are very scared, right? So what to do? What to do? I don't want to be a snake. I don't want to be an animal. Then the Buddha said, how to re-become a human? It is only by practicing 10 kusalas. He called it kusala patha, kusala journey. That means taking care of other beings, taking care of other people's possessions, sexual conduct, then being truthful, united speech, pleasant speech with metta, what you call virtuous speech, and then healthy enjoyment of sensual pleasures, metta, and right. Can we practice these 10 with animals? Can we? We cannot. That's why the Buddha said, when Bhante Ananda was telling one day, I think that 50% of this spiritual journey depend on the Kalyana Mittas. Half. The Buddha overheard it. No, 100%. 100% of this journey depends on the Kalyana. Who are the Kalyana Mittas? Kalyana Mittas are humans initially. So that means while we are respectful, giving our appreciation, giving our care to all the animals, can be a tiny small thing into very big animal. We must know we have to be surrounded with Kalyana Mittas, human Kalyana Mittas. Because in the last moment, if this comes to your thoughts, that can be a problem. Right? So that's something very interesting. But anyways, as you said, people actually, the point that Sartris was making very interesting. Some people in this experience become very, very obsessed with the animals. So they cannot live without animals at that. And they try hating humans at that point sometimes. And sometimes they try to hate humans. You are loving animals and you are hating humans. Why? That is your problem. You have disorganized your life. We all have to love everybody, not even animals. Deva, Naga, Mahitika, Bhuta, animals, humans. But our main association has to be with humans. Because humans are the ones that we are interacting for the Dhamma pride. If you have found out wrong people, that is your problem. You have to find out good people, Kalyana Mittas. So, but as you said, yes, they might be obsessive about animals with regard to Pottabbatana. What are the other objects that somebody can go to Pottabbatana? Tanha with regard to touch, material things, and then remember one man, I think a couple years ago in somewhere in South America, he had a Bentley car. He said in his last will, when I pass away, because Catholic countries, you have to first bury my Bentley first and then bury my coffin into that burial. So people had to follow what he wrote in the last will. See? People have been so much attached to these things, so much, I mean, on one side, he or she might think that whatever the happiness I enjoyed in my life so far should not be going to another person. Right? I think this is another side of the problem. When you are dying, what do you think? Am I going to take all my savings from the bank account? Because if I don't use it, somebody else is going to use from my family. Then the tanha comes, not that you are going to enjoy or not, because you don't like other people going to enjoy your savings when you pass away. Another side of this touch-based tanha. I have to use all my money. I don't want to keep that money. So when I die, my bank account is empty except for my funeral activities. This is kind of a tanha with regard to touch. That means we have to have some kind of mudita about our savings. We know that we cannot use up all the savings. So if not, somebody will use it. It's okay. Okay, that is Pottabbatana. Then finally, Dhammatanha. Dhammatanha means, what is Dhammatanha here? DHAMMA. Does it mean that people are having craving for the Dhamma? Do they? Do they have tanha? Do people have tanha with regard to the Dhamma? Dhamma itself says you cannot have tanha. Then what about tanha for the Dhamma? Here Dhamma does not mean doctrine, teachings of the Buddha. Here Dhamma means thoughts. Thoughts, craving about one's thoughts. What are the thoughts that someone develops a craving on? Can you think about? Your cherished experience with your loved ones. Do you have any do you have any craving about your cherished experiences? Maybe starting from somewhere. How are people maintaining that kind of tanha? They are going to keep some sentimental stuff. This is something I got from that person. So is it bad? It's okay. But what is the level of developing the tanha with regard to a certain thinking, certain thought? Have you ever experienced that you wanted to keep a certain thought during the day? You think that this is the only thought that will make you happy. Because you develop a certain tanha towards that thought. That means you have Dhamma tanha. Actually, all the other tanhas, Rupa tanha, craving with regard to the sightseeing, and then Sadhana craving with regard to the sound, and then Gandha tanha craving with regard to the smell, and Rasa tanha craving with regard to the taste, and then Pottabha tanha craving with regard to the touch. They all are coordinated, arisen by Dhamma tanha. Where do you get the craving with regard to the sights? Because you have a thought about it. You have a thought, if I see this person, I'm so happy. And then this craving is over there. Where do you keep this, what you call, Rasatanha? Tomorrow let's go for dinner. And then, yeah, that's the place we should go. I don't want to go to any other place. Where is it happening? Where is it saved in you? That means, is it primarily saving as a Dhammatanha? Then when the right time comes, it will become a Rasatanha. So all your tanhas are primarily arisen as a Dhammatanha. In action, it will become separated as Rupatanha, Sabbatanha, Gandhanha, Rasapottabhatanha. That's how we're going to look at it. Okay? This is how the tanha is primarily arising. Now, let's go to Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta's context. Kama Bhava Vibhava. Actually, when people are maintaining these types of 6 tanhas, finally they will become a Kama tanha because they all are part of Kama, sensual pleasures. Wrong practice of sensual pleasures. Now, we don't have a problem with regard to sensual pleasures. Sensual pleasures are very well understood everywhere in the world, in this universe. The problem is the mispractice, wrong practice, wrong experience of the sensual experience. Then Bhavatanha, it is an offshoot of the Kamatanha. What does Bhavatanha means? Craving with regard to becoming. Now say for instance, there is someone who has lots of craving with regard to something or someone. And at the time of the death, this will come again to his or her mind. Then would he like to leave this world happily or unhappily? How does it work? Now, when someone is having a certain tanha during the time of the death, right? There is a old story a long time ago in some other country. Say, one man had 8 children, and during the deathbed, all the children showed up, supposed to show up. Then one child was taking the business from the mother and father. Now this is the father. Then he also showed up. Then father was not happy. How come you came here? You go back to the shop because that is my shop I've been doing for 30, 40 years. And then at the same time, he passed away. He was not happy that particular son showed up because he is thinking, who is taking up the shop now? Because you are here. Father's craving came up at that time. So better that son should not have come out at that time. Now, when father saw this son, how come you came now? There are many customers in the shop. Why did you come here? Go back to the shop. And he passed away. Right? So the craving that was already buried came up because of the conditions. Right? So this Bhavatanha means as an offshoot of the Kamatanha. Now these Rupa, Saddha, Gandha, Rasa, Pottabha, Dhamma, they are all Kamatanha. as an offshoot of this kama tanha, bhava tanha arises. That means you want to be reborn in a certain place because of that. And then vibhava tanha is something that some people can maintain. That means what you call not becoming, thinking that that is a Buddhist idea in a way, but on the other hand, not becoming in a sense that there is no next life. This is the only life. Okay, I think we have adequately discussed about this karma part. Now let's go to the nirodha part. Then tanha has to be ceased. How to cease the tanha? Only by understanding our own personal tanha. We are creating a certain preparation for the cessation. It could be a meditation at a certain point, but before that, those people who just sit down for meditation to cease tanha, how to cease tanha? As long as you don't understand your own tanha. So this is a process. That means in our daily life, we have to understand identify our own small, minor, major cravings. That is the only way to go to this cessation. That's number one. Then dukkha nirodha arya satya. Finally, dukkha nirodha gamini patipada arya satya. The noble truth on the path that leads to the cessation of the noble, cessation. Then how to overcome our minor, major, small, medium, large tanha? What to do? Is it only a thinking? Is it only a thinking? Let's say someone has a problem with regard to the taste. Someone has lots of craving about food. How to minimize this problem? Not thinking about the food today. I don't want to join with you. That is not possible in the long run. The only way to cease tanha is the noble eightfold path practice. Starting from sammaditi, sankappa, vacha, kamma. This practice has to be gradually done and finally simultaneously practiced. When you have the sammaditi, you are going to create lots of cessation about this tanha as the first step. I think we have discussed this a long time ago. I think you can go back and revise. So, noble eightfold path. And then we go to the another context of the cessation, as some others raise here, paticca samuppada. Now, paticca samuppada and noble eightfold path. How do we understand these two? The Buddha said the whole process of this universe, sentient beings and then inanimate things, they happen due to the paticca samuppada's operation. Actually, what are we supposed to do with the paticca samuppada? We have to stop it. We have to stop it. The stopping of the paticca is called nirodha. Now, let me show you paticca just for a moment, and then you will understand that. Okay. This is a flyer which I need sometimes. 12 links. Paticca has 12 links, as you understand. And you can see over here, there are 12 links of this paticca. How to understand this paticca? Paticca samuppada is the overall process of anything in Buddhism. Anything, everything has become because of the operation of these 12. You can see over here, there are 12 things. Don't misunderstand, these 12 can be seen in our normal life at this point. Because we are somewhere here on one side, and then this is the process that has forming us in the samsara. Now, Buddha says nirodha is applicable to this, paticca this way. When you cease avijja, then there is no formation. Sankhara. There is no formation. You have to cease avijja, then the rest is going to be null and void. Then he talks about avijja has to be ceased, sankhara has to be ceased, vijnana has to be ceased, namarupa has to be ceased, salayatana has to be ceased, passa has to be ceased. All these have to be ceased. And finally, that is what is happening when you are ceasing craving under the Noble Eightfold Path. When you practice the Noble Eightfold Path, you are gradually, slowly ceasing all these 12. That is how we are going to relate Patisamuppada into the Four Noble Truths, wherein which you see the Noble Eightfold Path. So there are two ways to look at it finally. As you can see over here, the Buddha said, the moment we understand, even not becoming enlightened at this point, the moment we understand, yes, I do recognize my own cravings. The more I recognize my own cravings without blaming myself, without blaming other people, then I find out the cause of my craving. And at the same time, I understand what can I do for my craving. It is a Noble Eightfold Path practice. Thereby, I'm going to stop. I'm going to cease the links between all these 12 parts of the dependent origination. So this is what we have been talking here. And when you have this understanding, this can heal a lot. Actually, when you know your own craving, you will heal a lot at that moment itself. The moment you understand, oh, for the past 10 years, I have been very much into this particular food, this particular thing. The moment you understand, probably half of your dukkha will be impeded, gone away. Because as long as you don't understand your own craving, lots of dukkhas will be going with you, carrying forward, going forward. You are bringing them forward. The moment you identify, lots of dukkhas will be reduced at that point itself. That is healing. That's what the Buddha says here as nirodha sanya. Even not becoming an enlightened person at this point, you can have that cessation sanya. All right, I think we have almost come to the time. Any questions about today?
Bhante?
Yes, please go ahead.
Bhante, just now, like the karma, what is it? The last thoughts, the karma, dhamma tangha, okay? The thoughts, okay. So,
No,
sometimes,
Dhamma Tanha is not exclusively the last thought, any thought. Any
okay,
thought,
any thoughts, yeah.
any craving, any craving we have with regard to any thought is Dhamma Tanha. But I particularly took the last thought, just to tell you kind of
So,
importance.
not particularly to the last thought, but what sometimes I don't know, the dying time, the death, sometimes it is the last thought that decide the next destination, right, Bhante?
Mostly.
So it should be no thoughts at all at that moment, not thinking of the good things or merits you have done. Just no, right? At the dying moment.
Are you
Because sometimes
asking,
people say it's the last thought that makes, yeah. Sometimes people at the dying moment, we try to, encourage them to think good of the good merits they have done in the journey and all that. So it isn't good at all, right?
Well, it is a very case by case thing. But let me tell you, we don't know whether people are around us when we die, because some people die right away. Some people die in the bed. Some people die in a hospital, on a hospital bed, being surrounded by many other people. So we don't know exactly what will happen to different people. But we should not expect other people are here to comfort us during our death time. It might be, it might not be. But what I was trying to tell all of you was that the thought that you are having, I'm sure that in many suttas, Buddha says, the last moment, the moment of time you are going to leave, your body is dying, but you are going to another life. That's what happens. You are going to another life, being changed. That moment, your ability to think about a good thought is very minimal, because the consciousness is going to depart you of this body. So it's a time that you will get into a certain weakened stage of your cognition. So I think it's a little bit difficult to find a very good kusala thing at that point, right? That's why the Buddha says better to have a good practice for a long period of time. As a result of that practice only, you will be able to think about something good. But other than that, let's say someone has not done anything, right away if someone is trying to think about, oh, what kusala I have done, it's very difficult to come up with a kusala at that time. But anyways, last thought, whatever that comes to you will affect a lot, because that is the moment. It's like a marathon, you know. Say for instance, there are a couple stages where people are in the marathon. Suppose the last person is a very experienced Olympic kind of marathon runner, but he has to get the baton. But the people who are behind him, they are messing up. The last person is going to be messed up. So he is not getting the baton in time. Can he finish the finish line? He cannot. It is not because of the person, the very well experienced, world famous runner. It is because he didn't get the baton in time. In the same way, this last moment matters. But we don't know. So how to prepare for it is to have a continuous practice. So that means even you physically very ill, mentally very ill, but you are able to stay focused on that particular thing. Now, as you said, there are times somebody is very weak, very ill, very sick. Surprisingly, luckily, some other people are comforting that person. But this person is not very well. Other people can do something. Say, look at the good karma you have been doing. You have donated so much money to these temples. You have done a Katina ceremony. You have participated in the Vesak ceremony. You have done dana. You have helped publish Dhamma books for centers. These are very interesting ones. So that we can encourage. But how many of those devotees people have this blessing? Do we know that everybody will have this kind of time? Anyways, I think it's better not to expect everybody's help at that point, rather to create your own practice in the long run and then to face that.
Good, Bhante. I just want to know, is it at the moment of death is better no thoughts?
We can, okay. That's a very interesting point.
Nothingness or what at that moment? I mean,
If
if we
we-
cultivate, if we are in
Yeah.
that state, I don't think of anything or what, I don't know. But I just curious to know.
Yeah, let me tell you the theoretical aspect. We cannot be thoughtless at any point unless we have a jhana called, what is that jhana? Arking chanya. It's an immaterial jhana. Unless you have hit that jhana, that means you are not thinking about anything. But normally, it is not possible to be thoughtless. When you say you are thoughtless, I understand this way. Probably not many thoughts can be coming to you. That can be helpful. Let's say when you practice breath meditation, there's a stage called thoughtless stage. Not many thoughts are coming, but we cannot be thoughtless. More importantly, we cannot change our thoughts at that time. It's a very challenging time. Don't expect that you can do a lot of things at that time. It's a very challenging moment. So don't think any ad hoc stuff during that time. I don't think there is a possibility to have some ad hoc stuff that you can do this and that. So my suggestion is to practice it, and then you will end up with some wholesome thoughts. Looking at your own practice, we can be very happy when we go back and look at our own practice. Now, say for instance, you take today, December 20th. Since morning up until now, if you have not killed any bee, what kind of happiness you have been bringing up to this moment of time? If you have not lied to anybody for the whole day, look at the power of that particular precept. Nobody can help you then. Other people can come and comfort you, but that happens. That is why I'm telling you, if you have been practicing really well, that will take care of you, even the last moment. We cannot separately prepare for that moment because it's a very challenging moment.
Sadhu Bhante. Thank you. Thank you, Bhante.
Any other questions?
Bhante, that means, in other words, we make the practice as a habitual practice.
Yes.
Yes. There is a certain name for that kind of habitual activities in Pali. We call it, what is the Pali name for the Achinna Kamma. There are different kammas we are doing. Achinna Kamma means habitual karma. Our Dhamma practice has to be a habitual practice, not a practice we do only for the Vesak day, becoming a Vesak Buddhist, or Katina day, Katina Buddhist, or Vasana time Buddhist, or Sunday Buddhist, Sunday service. No, it has to be a 365, 24 time of practice. Be habitual. So then when you are doing it habitually, you don't need to struggle a lot. Look at some people, how much they are struggling every day. They only limit their Dhamma practice for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. The rest of the day, the bad things happening, akusala, kilesa. They are struggling a lot. But if you have a natural disposition about this practice, everything happens naturally. Your default mode. So then we call those kamma as achinna kamma. Let me write that for you. Achinna kamma. Make your kamma as achinna kamma. Call it habitual. On the other hand, something interesting, if you look at anybody who has been doing akusala, lying to other people, bullying other people, doing all the bad things, what is happening in their life? You take a moment of time and look at what is wrong with this person. You will see that this person is not becoming akusala time to time. This person's habits are based on akusala thoughts. He or she has been forming akusala habits for many years. Think about someone who's always lying to you. You think about, does this person lie to me only? No, this is his nature, her nature, always lying. Many years. The only thing is now I understand he or she has become a professional liar. Rather than that, lying has been happening all the way. Right? How to help this person? Will he or she ask, listen to me? So maybe she has to change her habit of doing this. All right, maybe we can take one more question before we wrap this up because we started a little late today, 10 minutes late. So we discussed nirodha sanya, cessation, and we discussed what is nirodha, how to go there, how to understand it, what is the relationship with tanha, and then what to do with noble eightfold path. Any other questions? If no questions, I have to ask, how much have you healed so far from the Girimānanda Sutta? That's a good question because we've been discussing 7 sanya already. You must have been healed a lot, healing part. Because when you understand anicca sanya more, you must have healed from understanding changes in your life. When you understand not self, it's not just a philosophical concept. You must have healed, not calling you that I, me, myself a lot. When you understand asubha, unpleasantness, have you started disgusting other people, looking at the dead bodies and all that? No. We look at 32 body parts in a way to understand that everybody has this experience at the same time. It is a good way to understand our body. A lot of people, they leave everything to the doctor. Their whole body, they leave it to the doctor. And they keep eating, keep drinking. If something happens, I don't know, I have to ask from my doctor, family doctor. But here, Asubha Sanya clearly says, understand your body. The more you understand your body, you can take care of yourself. I have these parts of the things. And what about Adinava Sanya? Sicknesses. The more I understand, have a good understanding about certain sicknesses, I am going to be very much health conscious in a good way. So those are the ways how we look at it. The more I understand these things, I will get higher levels of healing within me. And today, nirodha sanya. How does this help? The more I understand my own cravings, small, medium, big cravings, the more I can become healed. As long as I don't understand my own cravings, I will go through lots of pain, dukkha. All right, any more questions? All right, so then I hope that we will postpone our next class 27 just for the Christmas break time, and we can start our next class from January 3rd with the next sanya. What is the next sanya actually we are talking? Let's go and take a look just to give you some heads up. Below the sanya. After that, we are going to discuss this called Sabba Loke Anabhirata Sanya. This is very interesting. And what is the perception of dissatisfaction with the whole world? That will also get you wrong, because do we have to be satisfied with everything in the world? No, it's a different meaning. All right, so then if there are no questions, we are going to wrap this up at this point. May all the good karmas we will be making today by understanding the cessation, perception on cessation, nirodha sanya, be transferred to all the departed relatives who passed away in the name of all of us. So if we are not doing our class on 27th, that means today is the last day of this year of our Sutta discussion. We've been discussing so many discussions so far. I think almost today 120. Wanted to thankful, grateful for the Ti-Ratana Vihara for hosting this event. And I have been able to manage my time at the moment, so far good. And a lot of people have been getting benefited, and we have not, I think, stopped this Sutta discussion unless we were busy time to time, but this is going. So I hope that you will not even come every Friday to learn, but also think about how this is going to work out in your life. That is the most important part. Otherwise, you come and write down notes and you go back, and then you go back to the same world. Try to think that how this is going to work out in my own life. If you have questions, please ask me, and then we can have this cooperative understanding. So thank you for the Vihara. Thank you everybody, especially Aliana and Vihara, and we had Brother Chan last Friday, and just him also here, and Lim, everybody. And we hope 2025 will become the next chapter, another chapter. We started in 2022, 2023, 2024 now, finished, and 2025. And then all these good karmas we've been making throughout the year be transferred to all the departed ones who passed away in the name of all of us. May they be well and happy. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idammi nyati nang hotu sukita hentu nyatayo. Idammi nyati nang hotu sukita hentu nyatayo. Idammi nyati nang hotu sukita hentu nyatayo. Deva, Naga, Mahitika definitely help us, because we are spreading the message, Dhamma, true Dhamma message across the world. Everybody can watch, and we are disseminating this Dhamma practice far and wide. A lot of people are learning, not even learning, they are practicing. So we have a responsibility, and they also have a responsibility to take care of us. So may all the good karmas be shared and received by Devas, Nagas, and Mahitikas, all non-human beings. Not even them, but also all our Kalyana Mittas who cannot join today at the time. May they be well and happy. May they protect and bless all of you again and again for good health, quality of life, prosperity, safety. 2025, the year 2025 will be an year where you bring this Dhamma knowledge practice to another level, higher level, where you will be doing well with your Dhamma practice. May Devanaga Mahidika bless our Dhamma journey. Finally, attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ettavata cha amhehi sambitang punya sampradang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavata cha amhehi sambitang punya sampradang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavata cha amhehi sambitang punya sampradang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahittika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu sasanam. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahittika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu desanam. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahittika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu mang paranti chirang rakhantu mang sadati. Dhammavish. Our Dhammavish is to be surrounded with Kalyana Mittas. You all are Kalyana Mittas to each other. You all join, you want to spread the Dhamma message. Not even that, you want to practice. May this accomplishment of Dhamma, what you call Kalyana Mitta friendship, survive, last till we attain Nibbana. May we not be able to be in the company of Papa Mittas. Thinking thus, we're going to make this wish. Imina punya kammena mami bala samagamu satang samagamu hotu yava nibbana patya. Finally, may all the good karmas we be making for, I can't remember how many days we've been conducting this year, almost, I think, closer to 50. May all these good karmas which we've been doing throughout 2024 be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana siddhis nichang vadha pacha ino chataru dhamma vadhanti ayuvanno sukhang balam ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti me vacha Atu Nibbana Sampatti Iminate Samichatu Sadhu Sadhu. I would like someone from Bihar side to say a few words because it's the last discussion in this year. Maybe a few words about our time this year as the TRV, which has been there for the whole time. Anybody would like to say? Maybe Aliana or maybe him. Not here.
May Sister Hema, please.
Yeah, maybe a couple of
Thank
words.
you very much, Bhante, for teaching
Yes.
us how the whole this time. Thank you very much, Bhante. Really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. Sadhu, sadhu. To Bhante and all the Kalyamitas. In fact, we are very thankful and grateful to Bhante to really reserve the time for this class for all of us to learn so much. We sincerely and hopefully that, we will definitely like to continue this class with Bhante all the way. And we keep learning from Bhante. And today's lesson is amazing how the nirodha connected to, samupada. I am very grateful for this knowledge, Bhante. And in fact, I think all of us benefited from all over the places. We will continue to grow in Dhamma. Thank you, Bhante, for being the force behind all of us. We appreciate your presence and your lessons and your inspiration to all of us. Thank you very much, Bhante. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Yeah, thank you, Sister Hema, and then wishing you a pleasant night, and we'll see you and then 2025 with the next sanya. Okay.
Good night, Bhante.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Bhante.
Yeah, good night,
Bye.
everyone.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Bante.
Thank
Sadhu,
you,
sadhu,
Bhante.
sadhu.
Good night,
Thank you.
sisters.
Good
Thank
night.
you all the
Happy New Year to all of you.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everyone.
Yes.
Bante.
Same here, also, sister.
Bye bye.
Good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Sister
Thank you.
Alina.
Thank
With
you.
the whole of the
Thank you, Sister Elena and Brother Lim too.
Sister Hema.
Thank you
Yes.
for the connection.
Yeah, thank you, Sister Liana and everyone.
Yes.
Take
Thank you.
care. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Good night. Good night.
Yes, true.